For around like a year or two, a DLC for Elden Ring was set to come out. But the problem was, none of us knew when it was ever going to come out. But then we finally got our answer with the Erdtree DLC, which, can I just say something about this game? Or at least just the DLC entirely? It lasts as long as the main game itself. I can't actually believe I'm saying that. But let me just talk to you guys about Elden Ring. As I swear to you, every time when Elden Ring comes out, someone always gotta get themselves in trouble. Seriously, look up the records on the internet. You'll see what I mean. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the game itself. But I just thought it'd be funny to bring up. But anyways, Elden Ring. It's a From Software game. And it's a Souls-like game. And a lot of people are gonna cry about it because it's too hard for them. I mean, if you can get past Devil May Cry and all that other games, then why can't you get past this game? You know, I don't even understand this. People just have their own hatred against FromSoft because of games like this. But, for many of you guys don't know, the whole thing never really started with Dark Souls to begin with. It was actually Kingsfield for PS1. But, they've only ever gotten 2 Kingsfield games. It was only 1 and 2. But, really, 1 is number 2 and 2 is number 3. But then it came more of these Souls-like games like Shadow Tower, Eternal Ring, which they're all like first-person stuff. But then they made Demon Souls, and then later on there was a remake, but that wasn't even made by FromSoft. It was actually from Bluepoint, which I still think they did a great job replicating what the game was really all about. But with Elden Ring coming out, and all these other stuff that FromSoft's done, like Dark Souls Trilogy, Bloodborne, and Sekiro, there's been many different games that took inspiration of the Souls-likes, like Remnant, Neo, and you name it. But this game is more of a mixed bag of like fresh air, of like stress-free and stressful at the same time. And this game is also an open world, as I should mention to you guys. Seriously, an open world Souls-like game. Who would have thought that was going to work? But I got to say, when I was playing the game 2 years ago, I noticed something that was quite different than any other open world game I've played. They didn't use any copy and pasted assets. I wish I was kidding. They didn't. Nothing felt like it was copy and pasted. There's plenty for you guys to do, and you could even choose as to where you just wanted to go. So, I had some people asking me, where do I go? I'm like, guys, it doesn't matter where you have to go. You choose your own destiny. The game encourages you to use your own imagination. Just go wherever you want. You don't need no HUDs or whatever. Like, a bazillion UI in front of you like Ubisoft games. Oh, and that's the funny thing about that. A lot of people make fun of the developers of other companies because they were jealous of the game's success because it sold over like 10 million copies within the first day it came out or whatever. Seriously, if it sold so much, well, then it tells you the game did a pretty good job at being successful. Even some recent streamers came out of the thin air and played the game, the base game the first time. Sure, they were new, and they know it's hard, they admitted it. But holy cow, did I watch one of the videos of these streamers, I forget what his name is, but you guys should know what I'm talking about. This dude acted like he's played the game for like 10 years or something, and he already understands the core concept of the game. If people just took the time and day to get good, and that's a key advice, and a criticism at the same time. I get it's more outdo or whatever, but come on. You have to get good at the game. I have someone ask me if there was an easy mode. I'm like, there's no easy mode. Just level up yourself constantly, and you'll be all fine. Just find some good gear for you guys, or maybe the right class for you. You know, that's another thing. This game has plenty of classes, like a warrior, a mage, and whatever. But that's the whole thing, too. You can even play with people in co-op mode, up to like 3 players. But you can also go against other players by invading or whatever, too. So, you got that going out for you. But I swear to you guys, when I played this game, it took me around 50 hours to beat this game. 50. Seriously, that's longer than Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. That's which took me 30. I think the good reason for this is because there's so much to do in this game. You don't even realize it. And I've beaten every boss in this game, except for the 2 which I somehow managed to miss. See, that's the whole thing about this game. You think you're done doing everything, until you realize you missed a few trophies, and then, you know, that's a funny thing. You don't even know if you even got these bosses or not. But there is a New Game Plus mode, so that's a good thing for it. But speaking of trophies, you know what I find weird? There's no trophy support for Erdtree. Why? I have no idea. It's weird because the past From Software games that they brought out, they had achievements or trophies for their own DLC. But this one decided not to have such thing. But it's like I said, the DLC for that game actually lasts as long as the base game. And that's a good reason why the game DLC was $40. I know it was expensive, but man, did I play it and I found out the hard way as to why it was expensive. But with the DLC, they added in some new elements into the game. Like new weapons, of course, as obvious. And also some new stuff for you to level yourself up. But you'll see what I mean when you guys play the game. I'm glad they updated the game to have like they showcase where the NPCs are, because honestly I had no idea where some of these NPCs were. I'm glad they updated it. But holy cow, they debuffed freaking Mimic. Yeah, Mimic was such a key help for you because you make a replication of your own self and you were able to like do some battles against enemies and bosses and whatever too. You know, this game also has dungeons, which is something different that I never really seen in a Souls game. Well, maybe unless you play dungeon crawling games, but that's alright. But the only problem is that the dungeons require these sword keys. Sometimes it requires like 1 or 2 of them, but they're usually easy to grab because you can get them in a shop and whatever too. There's also this Ashes of War thing where they're more like skills for your weapons or whatever, but you'll see what I mean. Sometimes they consume magic, but at other times they might, you know, do something for you. Like a bleed build, or maybe you just want to like have a strong build. Whatever it may be. I wish I was kidding when I say this, but this game has so many side bosses. Like a lot of side bosses. Some of them are good for your XP. Some of them could be for rewards like new weapons or maybe magic skills or anything else you can think of. But seriously, this game may have a challenge to it, but there's so much to do, you just want to keep playing. There have been a few times where I just want to stop playing, but at the same time, I just want to keep playing. Why? I don't know. I just wanted to. And that's a key part. You feel like you want to stop playing, but at the same time, you just want to keep going. And why is that? Because there's just so much to do in this game. I wish I was kidding. It has a huge open world. There's like so much to do. There's plenty of places you can explore, and I kid you not. There's sometimes places where I'll easily miss, and I think I explored there, but I didn't. And thankfully, the map actually shows me that I actually didn't explore or actually explored that area. Why? Because there's these graces that you can actually use. Yeah, they're kind of like those campfire or whatever you use. The bonfire for like the Souls games. You can actually use them to like fast travel, level up, and whatever. Which is a really good thing. There's also like a lot of NPC quests you guys can do. In fact, there's actually a couple endings for this game. But I would have got the one with the NPC in it, but I kind of chose to do the normal ending. But it doesn't matter. As long as you beat the game, it's cool. But there is a lot of replay failure because of those endings you can pretty much choose to do in the game. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you what the endings are, which I want you to figure that out yourself. Sure, this game may not be for everybody, but if you guys have the skill, or at least you just want some sort of new challenge, then this is for you. But if you guys just happen to want to play with friends, you could do such thing. Unfortunately, the only way to summon your friends is by getting yourself a summoning sign, and that's how you do it. There should be a setting where you can only do it with friends, But again, it's complicated. I don't know why you can't just invite someone and then just go with it. That's just a weird thing to me, but at the same time, it was something different. That's what I would just say about that. But the only way to summon your friends or random strangers is to use these gold finger thingies or whatever, or something like that. Or at least these little things. I forget what they're called, but you can craft them easily, which is cool. But you need to use them in order to summon these people. Or anyone else that you can think of. Because if you don't, then there's no way for you to play online with other people. But the red fingers are ones for if you want to fight someone in terms of you want to invade them or they want to invade you. Or maybe something like that. But you have to be careful when you invade because there could be someone playing with them. Maybe. But if you can defeat the enemy players, that is, you can get a lot of runes. So there is a huge advantage to you or the other player. It really depends how you look at it, but still. At least there's some reason, at least you have a reason, I should say, as to why you should do the invading stuff. But other times, there'll be NPC invasions, meaning the NPC invades you and you have to self-defend yourself. This doesn't happen a lot, but in some areas, it might just happen. And if you kill them, they'll be out of your way forever. That is unless you do New Game Plus mode. But you get what I mean. There's plenty of challenge for you guys to explore. There's sometimes going to be easy enemies, hard enemies, you name it. But who knows what's going to happen with this game, or at least the series itself. Maybe the game might get a sequel. Who knows about that? I'm aware that there might be an Elden Ring show adaptation for some reason. I'm just going to say that if this actually happens, they better get it right. I mean, I've already talked about Twisted Metal, which I actually enjoy personally. It's just people just didn't know what to expect out of that show, and they say that it was nothing like the game, even though clearly there was plenty of resemblance of the game, like the vehicles and a soon-to-be tournament. But let's see how they do in this one. No, I have not watched the Fallout show. No, I did not watch the Last of Us show. I don't watch the stuff unless I'm actually interested. If I don't see anything in these shows, I'm not going to watch it. Plain and simple. But Elden Ring, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think there's... I could be wrong, but I think there might be comic book adaptations. Or maybe just fan-made ones. Who knows? But for those who want some sort of challenge or differently, you should definitely read the tutorials. Seriously, if you don't read tutorials, then guess what? You done goofed, and you kind of messed up. Oh, did I mention this game has a jump button? Yes, this game now has a jump button. Let alone a Soul series, because originally the jump button was meant for you to sprint, but at the same time, if you let go, it automatically jumps. I'm kind of used to that territory and not the other way around it. But jumping in the game could be useful for some stuff to evade certain attacks, but at the same time, probably not. Just use it to get around ledges or whatever. So again, if you guys are thinking about getting this game, well, go find yourself a new copy that comes with the Erdtree DLC. If you guys are interested. Maybe it might be on disc. I have no idea. I only have the base game version when it first came out. So here's what I'll just say to you guys. Find whichever class you think you're going to use and go with it. If you guys don't like it, you can always start over. It's not a big deal. It's fine. You guys can do that at any given time. Just whatever it is that you guys want. I mean, not all classes uses every single weapon, so there's going to be some disadvantages for each class. So all I can say is that I hope you guys enjoy exploring this game. Seriously, there's a lot to do if you guys are really are an exploration type of person. Just like if you were to play some explorations of dungeons and whatever. And yes, this game has plenty of dungeons and plenty of places for you guys to go. So it's like I said, if you think you missed something, keep on looking. Maybe you'll actually find it.